Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. In this segment, we're going to visit with Gary Gaines, head coach of the Permian Panthers. Welcome back to the show, Coach.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
And great to come off a big win at Ratliff Stadium.
It was a good win. It was a kind of a worrisome type of game because we felt like that we had the best team going in, and I think we did. Even after the game, I think we all felt the same way. Bethel had some good football players. They had some really good receivers. They had an offensive line that kind of overpowered us a little bit in the running game, and I think that was the thing that discouraged us the most, was the amount of rushing yards that they had, and we never could really, they controlled the third downs. We got them to third down quite often, and they pretty much controlled the third down situations. And over time, with the possession time that they had, they really wore out our defense, and I think that was a good game plan that they had. Not that they couldn't throw the football, and the quarterback was a good football player that will be back next year. But defense, you got to get them on the field, and you're fighting for 3 and outs and trying to get their punt team on the field so your offense can get possession. And I thought Jorian Wilson, probably our sophomore cornerback, had a great game. Offensively, we kind of clicked. Unlike the week before against Smithson Valley, we got a running game going well, and we had 2 running backs, both DeAnthony and the other running back, Greg George had close to 100 yards. And, we had some big plays in the passing game, some third down conversions, and I thought it was a well-played game from our end offensively.
Well, if you take one of the things that we talked about against Smithson Valley, we talked a little bit about the offensive line getting to gel and getting their steps together and them being choreographed together. Did you feel like we took a step forward this week?
Really did. I thought our offensive line really did up their game considerably, and we were real proud of the way. And of course, if you're running backs, if you have 2 backs at 100 yards, and Tommy Marsh came in with about 50 yards, those guys up front are doing that job. There's not any running back that really is efficient without good offensive linemen up front making those blocks. And I thought they did a good job in the passing game as well. Pass protection was good. They did get a couple of sacks, but I think one of those 2 was more of a coverage sack than it was anything else. And so I think we saw some improvement there with our offense this week, and we'll go back this week against Cedar Hill and try to regroup defensively. And they were playing hard. They just were a little bit overpowered, I think, by Bethel's offensive line, and they did a good job mixing the pass and the run and kind of kept us on our heels a little bit. And I know they weren't proud of the way they played, and they feel like that they can play better, and so that's good.
Now, there were a few mistakes on both sides of the ball as the game progressed that I know will get ironed out in time.
Oh yeah, you're going to have those most every game. Turnovers and critical mistakes. We were fortunate that we got 4 turnovers, only had 1 of our own, and those are big things. Had we not gotten those 4 turnovers, it might have been closer than it ended up being.
Now, looking ahead, we have a big trip to Abilene for Cedar Hill.
Cedar Hill is an excellent football team, and I saw them Monday night on TV, and we've got their first game tape at our place too. So we've seen both of their first 2 games, and they just have athletes at every position, and the quarterback, Travis Jackson, is just an incredible athlete. I think against Denton Geyer, he kind of accounted for like 300 yards, throwing and running both. And they've just got speed at every position. They have a lot of speed defensively, and then their backs and receivers are very explosive and can turn a short play into a long play if you don't really swarm the ball and get a lot of people around it. So I think our fans will see an outstanding football team, and it's going to be a challenge to us to play at that level, and so I'm looking forward to the game.
Now, we were, talking off camera about some of those teams and some of the things we've seen, and Cedar Hill has quite the roster, doesn't it?
They really do. They've got, I think, 99 on their varsity roster, and there are a few sophomores. Some of those sophomores played Monday night against Denton Guyer, and Denton Guyer was ranked, I think, 4th or 5th in the state, and that game could have gone either way. Had they not missed that last extra point in overtime, who knows what would have happened. But regardless of who won the game, those are two quality football teams, and both have quality coaches, and so I was just impressed with the whole thing. Their kicking game, I thought, was good. The little boy that came back was declared cancer-free. Kicked the game-winning extra point, and there was just a lot of things about that program that you enjoy watching those human interest stories, and the speed factor, I think, is the thing that we've got to keep a handle on and go into the game and adjust to that speed factor, which we haven't seen to this point. Smithson Valley wasn't particularly fast. Bethel wasn't particularly fast, and these guys are going to have quickness and speed across the board, and I think how quickly we adjust to that type tempo is going to be very, very indicative of how we play.
Now, you mentioned adjusting to that in the game, because in practice it's impossible to simulate.
It is impossible to simulate that type of talent, and they can, because they may have younger guys that run like that, but it's going to be a little bit difficult for us to simulate exactly the tempo and the speed at which they play. So the only thing you can do is do your best and try to get the best picture from your scout team as you possibly can, and understand that it's not going to be at the same speed as it will be on game day Saturday afternoon at Shotwell.
Well, it rarely is.
It rarely is. You're exactly right.
So that's not new ground. It may be just another gear.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, very good. Very good. Well, we wish you good luck in that trip to Abilene, and congratulations on the big win.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
And thanks for coming on the show, Coach.
You're welcome.
And this concludes the Coach's Corner.